Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the videos of the paid request. This time for the movie reviewer next door. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1987 film Overboard, starring Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, Roddy McDowall from the original Fright Night 1 and 2. He's in this, in the original Planet of the Apes. Edward Herrmann, who's in The Lost Boys, he's in this. I know one of the kids of Kurt Russell is one of the kids in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I think the Matt Frewer's character, not his older son, but his younger son, who's more of the attitude. I think he's one of the 4 kids here. Hector Elizondo has a bit part as a guy that works this garbage boat. It's directed by Garry Marshall, who directed Pretty Woman, among many other movies. This is one of those films I had heard of for many, many years, but I never got to see. I don't know why. It never came up. It just never came up. And I would see it advertised, and I would see the cover. I'm like, I like Kurt Russell. I don't mind Goldie Hawn. Not sure about the story. The story is that Goldie Hawn is married to Edward Herrmann. They're rich. They're mean to anybody and everybody. They're self-centered. They're selfish. They only care about themselves. They treat the staff like crap, including Roddy McDowall, who's like the butler. They're on this big, giant yacht. They're rich and everyone's beneath them. So Goldie Hawn needs her closet redone. So they hire a carpenter played by Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is a widow. His wife died years ago. He's got 4 boys who are rambunctious and going buck wild. So Kurt Russell is supposed to do this job where he works in her closet and make things for her shoes to be placed. But she comes in and she finds something to complain about. You used... What wood did he use? He used one piece of wood, but she says you're supposed to use this other piece, like oak. But she's supposed to use something else. I forget what the kinds of wood was. But it's like she never stated that before. Kurt Russell did a great job. Like cedar, like oak. But it was supposed to be cedar. Something like that. And Kurt's like, well, okay, fine, I'll do it again, but you pay me for what I did already. She's like, no. They have an argument. She pushes him overboard, throws his tools out. Of course, he's upset about that, goes back home. Sometime later, in the middle of the night, she goes to find her wedding ring. People are not paying attention. She goes overboard. And when she gets washed up, she has amnesia. She has no memory. Kurt Russell sees this on TV and goes, I got an idea for some payback. I'm going to pretend to be this lady's husband. Brings her back and pretty much has her do chores, take care of the kids and all that stuff. And the movie goes on. I don't know what to say about this film. I really don't. I did not hate the film, but I did not love the movie either. Because here's the thing. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn are great. They have wonderful chemistry, and it makes sense how they've been together. They're not married, but they're still together this day. They've had a love affair, love fling for decades onward. And you can clearly see that there when they're on screen together. They have great chemistry. They work well together. Goldie Hawn, from being this rich snob to being confused what's going on to take care and how to do these chores to some decent comic timing. She's very talented at that. Kurt Russell has his charm. Tremendous charm. I love Kurt Russell. Then is right after Big Trouble in Little China. He's got the hair. He's got the bright personality. When they're arguing and he's talking down to her about how you're so goddamn bored you gotta invent things to bitch about. And throughout the film, there's some entertainment to be had by some of the supporting characters. Like Hector Elizondo, he has like one scene where he plays a guy, I guess from supposed to be Portuguese or something like that, because he has a thick accent. Hector Elizondo, he was in Leviathan, which I'm a fan of. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 3, the TV show Chicago Hope. I guess he's been in a ton of Garry Marshall films. He's like talking to the TV and he's like, fuck off, fuck off. It's like, no, you can't say that. No, 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 that means seal in Portuguese. Like the way Hector Elizondo said that, I got a chuckle out of. It was his performance. Edward Herrmann, he sees his wife in the hospital and goes away because he doesn't want to deal with that. He's like, fine, she left. And then throughout the film, he's having fun with girls, and he goes a little bit postal with a gun later on in the film. Roddy McDowall, I guess he also executive produced the movie. I wish he had a lot more to do. Just I love Roddy McDowall. I miss Roddy McDowall. I love him in the original Fright Night. Peter Vincent, the fearless vampire killer. Love him in Fright Night 2. He doesn't have a whole lot to do in this. He appears here and there in the first third of the movie. But then in the good middle chunk, he's not there, which makes sense, I guess, because it's about Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. And then he has a nice little scene with Goldie Hawn later on, where he's like proud of her, because she apologized to him now that she's learned her ways. But it just makes me wish Roddy McDowall was there for a lot more of this. I don't know how. Maybe one of those things where he goes along with it and he's with Kurt Russell and he goes along with it for a bit because she treated him like poorly too. I don't know how else to. Maybe not. I don't know. Just wish we could see more Roddy McDowall. I forget Kurt Russell's buddy's name. I didn't mind him. I know I've seen him in other stuff. The kids are a bit annoying. I don't like the kids. The youngest one thinks he's Pee Wee Herman. I think two of them are twins and they love the arson. I thought the four kids were annoying. And when Goldie Hawn's talking about how these kids, they need discipline and they need a father, she's right. Because these kids are just going all over the place doing all sorts of crappy things. Where, like, she makes a valid argument and then kids will, like, shoot chocolate syrup on her. There is charm to be had with this movie, but the premise, it's really... you change one thing, this is a horror film. It's a horror film. Because yes, Goldie Hawn was very unlikable as the rich snob. That's true. But then for Kurt Russell to go to the hospital... By the way, one of the cops is Ray Combs. I'm like... He was after this would be the host of Family Feud for quite a few years. Sadly, he went on to end his own life. But for quite a few years, and when I first saw Family Feud, that's the host I saw was Ray Combs, not Richard Dawson, which was before him. And nowadays it's how did I forget his name? My God, Steve Harvey. But Richard Dawson. Not Richard. Ray Combs is the one I saw. Like when they did the Family Feud with the wrestlers, Ray Combs was on there. But I guess before this, he was just an actor and stuff. Like, oh, that's Ray Combs. Okay. Host of Family Feud. Rest in peace. But first off, he has no identification. He has no proof that it's her husband. It's just that she's annoying. We gotta get her out of her hair. So you're not supposed to take it seriously. He had noticed a tattoo on her butt cheek earlier, which I looked at her body and go, I did, Kurt. I did why you liked her. She seems like a nice girl as well. Although Sally did she get plastic surgery? I don't know if she did. If she did, that was a mistake. I don't know though. But really, because he knows she has this mark on her tush, they just give her to him. And like, I get the idea. This lady treated you like crap, threw away your tools, owes you money. Fine, you work it off. You don't pretend to be my wife, and do all this stuff, these chores. But there's never moments where Kuroso goes, okay, this is a mistake. Or you know what? Until very, very far into the movie, to be fair. Until very far into the film. After they've fallen in love. But it's like, what was the original plan? Were you going to do this for 2 weeks? 2 months? 2 years? Like, how long were you going to have her be in this slave role? What it is. Like, how long was this going to be? How long was this going to keep happening? And then there's a bit that these kids treat her so badly. And also not knowing how to do any of this stuff, she almost kills herself with the chainsaw. She's literally a comatose. And then they make fun of her, where she's like, I liked when she was doing buh 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 buh. I'm like, I guess she was unlikable, but man, like, how far are you gonna go with this? And like, this is a lady has amnesia. Again, were you gonna a year? Like, how long? And then although they do have good chemistry, I still don't know why Goldie Hawn falls in love with Kuroso. Because Kuroso, that's why. But like, there's a bit where she's been having a tough time. She confronts Kuroso, understandably so, saying, "Since I've been here, I can't remember who I am. I don't know any more of who I am. I've been cleaning, I've been cooking," and just okay. She was mean to him, but she was mean to him for, I don't know, he had 2 days to work on it, but she probably only met him a handful of times. Those handful of times were probably like 5 minutes apiece, so maybe 20 minutes amongst those 2 days. This is like, however long, days and days and days of him just being mean to her. Well, I always go out, honey, and I always go out. It's like, he is a bad father. He is a terrible father. He doesn't really do anything to change that, because she's the one who teaches the kids how to read. She's the one sticking up for the kids at school. She's the one doing all this stuff. And Kurt Russell never really proves... he never really gets better as a father. He's mean to her. So I don't really like Kurt Russell's character that much. And yeah, well, does the punishment fit the crime type of thing? Like, isn't it enough that she lost her memory and find just like, what would you do next? Drop her off and say, yeah, you're not my wife anymore? Drop her off at what, a Chuck E. Cheese? Or get this divorce that you can't make it official because you were never officially divorced? Or also, wouldn't sooner or later someone would find out she's not really your wife? And then when she finds out, she could press charges against you. So again, what is Kuroso's end goal here? That she'll never remember her memory? Because once she does, it's public. It was on the news she had amnesia. The hospital, I mean, they'd be in trouble too, because they didn't have any documentation, but hey, this guy isn't my wife, that's not my husband, looked at the court documents, there's nothing official, Kuroso's going to be arrested, he's going to go to jail. So then, what was Kuroso's end goal? Where was he leading it to? What was going to end up with this? He didn't really think this out, and it feels really scummy. And again, when she, the kids are going buck wild, and she's comatose at one point, she stands up to Kurt, understandably so, and one of the kids just throws chocolate syrup on her. But then she's playful and having like seltzer bottle fights. Why is she now fine with this? Always seeing her consistently being miserable, not knowing how to do the chores, thinking off her feet, using hair dryer to defrost the fridge or a vacuum cleaner to clean the table. But she's consistently miserable, and like a switch is flipped and now she's not miserable. I didn't feel like there was a gradual progression of that, at least to me. Or if there was, I think they could have used a lot more progression. And then it's like she's getting along with the kids better, and then she's helping the kids read, and then helps plan this miniature golf place that Kurt Russell and his buddy want to make and invest in. And then after all this, then Kurt wants to say something, but then his kids and his buddy, they still go along with the lie. And then Caruso, yeah, they're falling in love, but Caruso still has sex with her. I'm like, dude, I know you two are falling in love, but you're still lying to her. You still made her think she's your husband, and you still had sex with her. That's a pretty scummy thing, no matter how you word it, because she still has amnesia, and she still you've tricked her into a lie, and now put your dick in her pew pew. That's pretty fucking scummy. And then Edward Herrmann, uh, Goldie Hawn's mom wants to know where her daughter is. Edward Herrmann seeks her out, finds her. As soon as she says Edward Herrmann, everything remembers. Then she turns to Kurt and goes, "You tricked me. You used me." Now, Kurt Russell isn't upset about that. She's upset. He's upset that she left. And the kids go, "We want her back, Dad." Well, he's rich, and I'm like, wait a minute, not. Well, sons, what I did was wrong. He doesn't say that. Well, listen, what I did was wrong. I lied to her. I made her think she was someone she wasn't. I had sex with her when she thought I was someone else. He's never sorry about what he did to her. Which I do think is a lot more than what she did to him. I know I'm sounding like a feminist type of thing. I know a lot of the 80s, there could be some really questionable things. Revenge of the Nerds has some very questionable things. But the rest of the movie I did enjoy. I love Weekend at Bernie's. I know that's not realistic. I mean, a guy parading around a dead guy, but that guy deserves it, and that was a funnier movie. I didn't really get much laughs out of this like other people did. I guess some of the hijinks of Goldie Hawn trying to do the chores. But like I said, I didn't really get a lot of some of the supporting characters. But I didn't really get a lot. Like I said, the kids annoy me. I think Kurt and Goldie have great chemistry, and that helps shine through the most in this movie. The music at times can be rather upbeat in that mid to late 80s style. Uh, Goldie Hawn plays snobbish as well as turned over a new leaf fairly well and convincing. Spoiler alert, she goes back, but she doesn't like how people are acting towards the crew, and she treats the crew well, and she apologizes to Roddy McDowall. Roddy says a great line or dialogue about you're escaping your bonds to see life in a new perspective. Like I said, I felt Roddy was underused. Kurt goes after her. They're both on different boats. They both jump over. They both swim to each other. She's going to leave it with Herrmann. She's rich. The kids are writing stuff down, as Kurt says. They're writing their Christmas list. I'm like, you don't deserve anything. Y'all assholes. I just... For a love story, I don't want these two together because Kurt doesn't deserve it. It's nice that Goldie became a better person. Just the way it was done. And maybe if Kurt Russell was a bit more... Listen, I know I did this the wrong way. And I apologize for that. But he never does that. At one point he tries to tell her, but he's not like apologizing. He tries, but he doesn't really try. It just comes off as very weird to watch. Very weird to watch. And I'm surprised this film isn't more canceled nowadays. I'm not saying it should be canceled, but it's just one of those things that if it did, I get where people are coming from. I know a different time period, but I know I'm usually the guy that go against that, but yeah, this one just, I don't know. You look back and you go, I don't know about that. Like I said, good acting, good chemistry. It was a modest hit. I know you're not supposed to take these films that seriously. But he said, Kurt, I mean, bit of a scummy thing he did. He doesn't really get any payback for it. Like, she leaves, but he goes up and they get together, and now he's got this rich wife, or rich girlfriend, soon to be rich wife. But by lying to an amnesia lady, pretend to be your wife, make her do all the chores, make her get humiliated over and over and over again, treating her poorly not once or twice or 3 times, like 30 times, which, okay, she treated you badly 3 times. You're treating her like badly 50 times. Then, yeah, you fell in love. Then you had sex, but she doesn't know who she is and doesn't know who you are, and she's having sex over a full-on lie. And then you never apologize for any of that. I mean, this might be the most unlikable Kurt Russell character I've ever seen. And I love Kurt Russell. But I'm trying to think, is there a character he played that was more unlike? No, I mean, Escape from New York, love Steve Pliskin. The Thing, love McCready. Love Jack Burton. Love, Gabriel Cash. Liked him in Backdraft. Love him in Stargate. Say hello to King Tut, asshole. Love him in Breakdown. Even Dark Blue, where he's playing like a crooked cop, he was more likable in that movie than this. So, I mean, take that for what you will. And Roddy McDowall, which was used more. But Goldie and Kurt bring a lot of charm, and that helps the film a lot. So, take that for what you will. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.